Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be giving you some of my top tips to rise to the top of a company's call list. In your area, there are probably some companies that you want to work for, but they already have their go-to signing agent. So I'm going to tell you how to, again, rise to the top of that list so you can take their place as the top signing agent that's getting all the calls. Make sure that you stay tuned to the end of this video because the best tip is last. Okay, tip number one is be professional. This sounds simple. It is simple, but this can mean a few different things. First, you want to make sure that you look the part. Make sure you look like a professional. Make sure that you are dressing nicely. You are dealing with people's very important information, so you want to make sure that you look trustworthy and professional. Going along with that, things happen throughout the day. I always suggest to bring an extra pair of clothes in your car with you. So if you're out and about doing signings, something happens to happen to your clothing, you want to make sure that you still look nicely for your very next signing. So you want to make sure that you have an extra set of clothes. Maybe you get baby spit up because you stopped at home and played with your little baby. But maybe you are out and about eating in your car, you got a stain, maybe your pants split, I don't know, but it's wise to carry an extra set of clothes. Also, going along with being professional, you want to make sure that you are on time and that you are respecting your client's time. That means if you are going to be late, that you go ahead and communicate that with either the signing service or the client themselves. Some signing services or title companies don't want you to communicate directly with the client. So if you're going to be late, let the appropriate people know that you're going to be late. Don't just show up late and tell them that there was a car accident. Let them know beforehand so they can prepare and not be waiting and expecting you. My next little bullet point is still under being professional, and that's to keep a calm demeanor. Just like with any job where you are dealing with people, you're going to have situations where the client seems a little agitated with you or seems a little agitated with their partner. And in those situations, again, you want to stay calm. Don't get an attitude back with them. Don't make the situation worse. If it gets to the point where you don't think you can handle it anymore, you don't think you can continue with the signing, then you can ask to excuse yourself for a moment, contact the company that hired you, let them know what's going on, but definitely don't try to take the situation in your own hands and act out of character. You are a reflection of the company that hired you, so you definitely just want to remain calm. My next tip is to communicate well. If you get a phone call, try to answer that phone call at all times. If you're in the middle of a signing and another company is calling you, politely excuse yourself and answer that call. Or if you're almost done with the signing, call that company back as soon as you possibly can. If you just started a signing and another company is calling you, I would not recommend waiting 45 minutes to finish the signing to return that call, because a lot of things can happen in 45 minutes. So you can politely excuse yourself, let them know that you need to take this call and answer the phone call. Going on that note though, you don't want a phone call to last a super long time. Let the company know that you are in the middle of another signing. Don't take your client's time up, because again, that kind of breaks your code of being professional. You want to make sure that you're continuing to respect your client's time, but it's just super important to answer your phone or be on the phone as quickly as you possibly can, because again, things just move quickly in this business. And by not answering your phone as soon as possible or returning phone calls as soon as possible, you are going to miss some business. Okay, going along with communication, you want to make sure that you are communicating what you're doing throughout the process. That doesn't mean that you need to call the company that hired you at all times and tell them every little thing that you are doing, but companies do want to know where you are in the process. If you just finish uploading your scan backs, send a quick email and say, scan backs sent. It doesn't have to be long paragraphs. It just needs to be short and sweet. But again, it helps them understand where you are in the process, and they're not left wondering if you're done with the signing or what you're doing. If you just dropped off your documents at FedEx, again, send a quick email, let them know the documents are sent, and just keep them updated through the process with quick communication. Tip number 3 is to stay educated as a signing agent. This means that you need to know your state laws, you need to follow your state laws, and you need to keep up to date on your state laws. Some of the companies that hire you are maybe not in your same state. Just because they are hiring you does not make them an expert on your job as a signing agent. They could be in Pennsylvania, you could be in Tennessee. They don't necessarily know Tennessee's signing agent laws, but you should. Sometimes companies will ask you to pre and post date documents. Again, that's up to you to know that that is illegal and you should not be doing that. Also, you have your E&O insurance and you have your notary commission. You need to make sure that those things are up to date and not expired. Sometimes companies will check to make sure that you are up to date, but sometimes they don't. So if your E&O insurance has lapsed, you could find yourself in some big trouble and lose a ton of business because you were not covered during a signing. Same thing with your notary commission. You could get a job when your notary commission has expired. But if you do a signing and your notary commission is expired, you can definitely guarantee that you will not be getting any more phone calls from that company. So you definitely want to make sure that you are educated and that you are keeping up to date on all things signing agent, whether it's your, your commission, the laws, all those things. Stay educated, stay up to date. My next little bullet point underneath staying educated is to know how to work your technology and have the proper technology. So in this business, you should have a laser printer. You should not be using an ink printer. That's because ink can smear on documents. Now, there are plenty of people who have used ink printers in this business and have completed several signings and not had any issues, but I do think eventually you're gonna run into issues if you're not using a laser printer. First, ink is way more expensive, but eventually I think your documents are going to smear, and a company is not going to continue to call you if you turn in smeared documents. So go ahead and get yourself a laser printer. Same thing with, you need to be prepared and have the correct paper. Don't just have regular size paper. Be prepared with extra legal size paper. Always have those things on deck. Don't run out when you're supposed to be at a signing in 30 minutes and you should be able to make it there in 30 minutes, but then all of a sudden you realize that you are out of paper. So I guess this tip should just be educated and up to date on things. And my final little thing to say under this tip is about your scanner. You might know there's a scanner on your phone, or there's plenty of scanner apps, but you don't want to use just any old scanner when you are doing documents, because a lot of times when you are using an app, for example, when you sign up for the app, you are actually giving them permission to access the documents that you scan, which essentially is giving them access to people's personal information, which again could land you in big trouble. That would guarantee that you would not rise to the top of a company's calling list. You also don't want to use public scanners. You want to have your own scanner. You want to know how to use it. Don't wait till a signing happens to learn how to use your technology. Learn how to use your technology before you get signings. That will help you stay on time. That will help you look professional. So these things are kind of building on each other, but definitely just make sure that you are being educated and knowing the right things to use and how to use them. Okay, tip number 4 is handle mistakes the right way. Even if you are a super educated signing agent, mistakes are inevitable. Maybe you have taken all the courses in the world about being a signing agent. You're still going to make a mistake at some point if you're taking lots of signings. Just like with any job, no matter how good you are at that job, you're eventually going to make a mistake. It just happens. We're human, mistakes happen. So you want to make sure that when you make a mistake, that you handle it correctly. The way that you are going to handle it correctly is you're going to be super apologetic. You are going to volunteer to fix that mistake right away. What you're not going to do is you're not going to become offensive and blame it on certain things. Don't play the blame game. It just looks bad. It doesn't look professional. People would much rather you just say, hey, I'm sorry I messed up. I will make it right. There are going to be times where maybe you miss a signature and you don't have to go back out to collect that signature. They might be able to collect an e-signature from the client, just, through email them documents, let them sign it that way. But there's other times where the company is going to want you to go get a wet signature, and you're going to have to go back out, and you're going to have to use your time to travel to the client's home and collect that signature and travel back, and you do not get paid extra for this. So that kind of goes along with this. Don't ask for extra pay when you made a mistake. You want to make sure that when you are fixing mistakes that you do it in a timely fashion. We talked earlier about how things happen quickly in this business, and so you want to make sure that if they need a signature that you were supposed to get before, that you go get that signature as soon as possible. This might mean that you are missing out on another signing. You might have to turn down a signing to go fix a mistake on a signing that you did yesterday. But you need to be willing to do that in order to stay at the top or get to the top of a company's calling list. The way that you handle fixing mistakes is huge in this business. A lot of people do not handle it well when someone tells them that they did something wrong. So again, take the blame, be apologetic, and go fix it as soon as possible. Tip number 5 is my biggest tip, my best tip, and that is to build a network of signing agents in your area. There are going to be times where you get in good with a company and they start calling you, but maybe you already took another signing. Or maybe you're sick, maybe you're unavailable, maybe you had other plans that day. Whatever the case may be, there's going to be a time where someone calls you for a signing and you can't take that signing. But you want to remain on very good terms with the signing service or with the title company so they continue to call you first. So what you need to do is be able to recommend another signing agent. This signing agent needs to be someone who is professional, who knows what they're doing. And by being able to recommend someone else, the company is going to know that they can always call you. Whether you are available or not, you're going to be there to help them. What you don't want to happen is, let's say they call you, you are unavailable. They're going to call the next signing agent that's been marketing to them, and they're going to give that person a chance. And you're going to give that person a chance to build a better relationship with the hiring company. You don't want the next signing agent to be building a good relationship with your company that you're working for, because that could mean that you get less signings from them. Maybe they start splitting who they call, or maybe they just start calling the other signing agent. But again, if they call you and you can say, hey, unfortunately, I have another signing today, or unfortunately, I'm not feeling good today, but I know another signing agent who should be able to take this for you. Here's their information. That is showing them that you are always reliable. They should always call you, and you will go to the top of their list if you're not already there, and you will remain at the top of their calling list. Okay, that's it for this video. Those were my 5 tips to become the top signing agent on a company's call list. I believe that if you follow these 5 tips, that you will eventually become the top signing agent that a company calls. This will lead you to more business. I know things are slow right now, but eventually I know things are going to flip back around. That's just what the real estate market does. So hang in there. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I will see you soon.